Across Europe, migrants are crossing borders. Across the Channel in Calais, some are hiding on lorries to get through the tunnel and then claiming asylum in Dover. And for hundreds, this is their next stop, the village of Longford in the London borough of Hillingdon. And some residents are not happy.
It looks like a transit camp.
We're feeling overwhelmed.
You're trying to get a quart in a pint pot and you can't get it.
This is the story of a village caught up in the migrant crisis and of the villagers who are saying enough. Ray is 85 and 4 years ago he lost his wife.
I still have a little cry when I think of her. You have to just take what God gives you.
And now he's having to deal with something else. The change in the character of the village that's been his home for 50 years.
I've got them either side of me. I've got them in there and I've got them in there. So they meet and they have conversations in the middle of my front garden. They're not allowed to smoke in the rooms. So I've had them leaning out of the back bedroom window smoking, and with their lighted fag ends, they don't know what to do with them, so they throw them on the roof of this sun lounge. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they are, and we're living next door to them, albeit they might be very nice people.
Longford dates back to the 14th century, and several of the buildings are listed.
It was lovely, it was. A really lovely old village it was.
So what changed? Villagers say as its near neighbour, Heathrow Airport, expanded and then planned a third runway, which could mean homes are demolished, property prices fell. And houses around the village were steadily bought up by a hotel.
He brought that one out and he brought that one out.
The villagers we spoke to say the homes bought up by the hotel are now all marked with blue or red number plates. The villagers say they're now often rented out to the Home Office to house asylum seekers, presumably because this accommodation is cheap. Booking websites confirm a room can go for under £30 a night per person and less if it's shared, although neither the Home Office nor the hotel will say how much is paid per asylum seeker. But who are the people being booked in here? We decided a good way to find out was to stay in the hotel. So, posing as a tourist, we've now booked into one of these rooms, and just down the road we met 8 men who've only just arrived in England. They were all staying in this house, all 8 of them asylum seekers from Sudan and Eritrea in North Africa. The conditions in this accommodation when we filmed were basic and filthy in parts. But the men were delighted to be here because just a few days earlier they were sleeping rough in the so-called jungle camp in Calais. And later that day, more coaches carrying asylum seekers arrived in Longford.
Where have you come from?
Hello.
Where have you come from?
Iran.
Eritrea?
Yes.
The coaches turn up, 20, 30 people get off, and they're transferred to all the houses that are around the village.
Some are dropped off in the village, others picked up to move elsewhere. The Home Office won't say how many asylum seekers are being sent to Longford, but we filmed 2 coach loads and 3 van loads on one day.
Which country?
Sudan.
Sudan?
We are from Sudan, yeah.
And returning 3 days later, filmed another 2 coach loads.
Stay in jungle 3 months.
Where were you last night?
Dover, yes.
In Dover.
We are from Syria.
You're Syria?
Yes.
This man said he'd come from Syria.
We came from the jungle camp after great difficulty. We were very cold and hungry.
I have no choice. I have no choice.
And this man called Mogdad from Sudan admitted he'd paid a people trafficker €500 in Calais to get to the UK.
And are you happy now you're here?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy.
What do you think of this village?
It's a good village.
you know what's going on around the world at the moment. They've got a right to move away from dangerous areas, but it's just saturated where I live with immigrants. As you can hear, the aeroplanes come in, they're noisy, but I chose to live here with the aeroplanes. But I didn't choose to live here with 3 to 4 coaches a day moving in and out, and especially at night time as well. So now the winter months are coming up. It's dark in the evening and you've got a lot of people hanging around the streets who you really don't know.
The villagers insist they're not being racist, and Rana, who runs one of the local pubs and is a migrant himself, coming here from Sweden 3 years ago, agrees.
No racist here, no racist.
Are you two good friends?
We're neighbours. Neighbours are friends.
And Rana says the numbers of asylum seekers staying in the village have hit the takings in his pub. He's now losing money.
No one come here when they are standing 20, 80 people outside on the road on the walls. Who will come?
For months, he's been taking pictures of the coaches.
The people are just coming and going from morning to evening. So you see, the roads are blocked. I'm going to move from here as soon as. Last year, I worked whole year. I didn't get a single penny salary. I work free. So people, they are afraid. Customers, they are afraid. Because of these refugees, it was good before the immigrants, they came here.
The common word we use, it's a dumping ground for our people from the immigrants coming into the country.
We've got to accept refugees into the country, but you need to plan it and do it appropriately, not to put them in the middle of an existing community where they don't fit in.
Of course, if a third runway is built at Heathrow Airport, all this could be irrelevant, because Longford may be demolished. But while the village has a future, the residents want something done. The Home Office says the asylum seekers stay for a few days before moving on, and decisions about the use of hotel accommodation, including which premises are used, are made by contractors who bear the cost. The Home Office says it's been made clear to them that the use of hotels is only ever acceptable as a short-term contingency measure. The hotel manager in Longford doesn't wish to be interviewed or to give a statement, but in a recent meeting with some residents, he said he was sorry people were unhappy. He wanted to make it better, and in future, no more than 40 asylum seekers would be staying at any one time.